All right. So this is today's I don't know what to call these policies or principles comes from Blaise Pascal. Oh, how curious. I made this one almost one whole year ago on September 29th, 2020. Blaise says, all of human unhappiness comes from one single thing: not knowing how to remain at rest in a room. And here it is. I mean, I gotta clap that one up for Blaise. Like, that's just, I mean, he got it. Like, all of human unhappiness comes from one single thing: not knowing how to remain at rest in the room. And you apply some logic to that. All of human happiness comes from one single thing: knowing how to remain at rest in a room. Ooh. Or if you apply some like other type of logic, you're like, all of human unhappiness comes from one single thing: knowing how to remain at rest in a room. And all of human unhappiness comes from one single thing: knowing how to remain at rest in a room. And all of human happiness comes from one single thing: not knowing how to remain at rest in a room. No. I like those because what it's saying is that, like, for instance, I'm in a room here and the door's closed. So it's a enclosed space. Okay? Happiness is not something that is out. It's internal. Like, I have this emotion wheel up here. All emotions are internal. And the one that most people desire at any given, if you ask a person what they would want to feel, and really just to the point of his phrase, his message here is that happiness comes from one place: knowing how to remain at rest in a room. What is that? Like, what does he mean, like, at rest? So at rest means without friction, without frustration, in a calm manner. And the whole point of being in a room is that, like, it's not like outside environment, other people, well, unless they're also in the room. But and the room can be, it's really a metaphor. A room can be any construct that you have inside of your mind or your head or your emotions or the situation. Like, a situation is a room because it's a construct. The setting is a room because it's a construct. The conversation is a room because it's a construct. The situation is a room because it's a construct. Or get it, sitting, situation. Or even like the path is a room because it's a construct. A room is a construct. It's man-made, clearly. So all of these other things in our lives that we determine for ourselves, or some of us do, some of us don't. Like like who we're talking to, what we're doing every day, when do we talk to this person, or what do we feel about how we're gonna, like, let's say your car breaks down. How do you feel about that situation? Where is the unhappiness coming from? And the unhappiness comes from when you open the door and you let it in. Or, let me go back to what he said. All of human unhappiness comes from one single thing: not knowing how to remain at rest in a room. Well, that's interesting, because I could say you can either let the unhappiness in, or you can go out of the room and be unhappy. So happiness has a being aspect and it has a doing quality, vice versa. So all of human unhappiness comes from one single thing, not knowing how to remain at rest in a room. And I think the other part of that is I had this saying for myself that I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna be a billionaire. If I can be a billionaire by sitting in a room for the next 10 years, I would do it. And, like, I believe that. However, the truth of the matter is, like I just said, the room is not physical. The room is a mental construct. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in a room like the room I'm in, like where I have a desk and I'm sitting at the desk. Because I mean, the picture that comes into my mind, remaining at rest in a room, means like you're in a bedroom sleeping, or you're lying down, or you're just like, you're basically in a comfortable position. Yes. So it doesn't mean like you have to be like necessarily, let's say like let's say you're a fighter and you're in the ring. The ring is a room. And it's like, you're not at rest in the room until you've eliminated what is preventing you from being at rest. So when you know how to remain at rest, you eliminate the thing that's making you unhappy. So like the person you're supposed to be fighting is making you unhappy, and that's why you should unleash all of your anger to fill in the blank, destroy them, dominate them, knock them out, win, and then you go back to being at rest, and then there's like that, like you're at rest. So what this also means is like the things that I want, or anybody wants, they're somewhere. They are somewhere. So I can do a couple things in space, and I can do a few things in space and time. So I can make space in the room for those whatever to come into the room. Or I can eliminate space in the room for those things to exit the room. Or I can wait for the time when those things appear. And, time waits for no man. So I can wait for the time when those things appear and bring them into the room. Or I can take the time out of myself to go out and bring them back into the room. Or time and space, I can create and have something original come out, which is that thing, because there are rooms inside of rooms. Like, even though I'm a man in a room, there are rooms inside of me, in my mind, in my creativity. Like, there's a room of creativity that lives inside of me. There's a room of imagination that lives inside of me. There's a room of discipline. There's a room of happiness that lives inside of me. And that room has a door, which I can unrest. So, and that's how I'm able to be in the room and bring that out of myself into the room. Is it possible to do it at rest? No, it's not. But I am still in the room, knowing how to remain at rest in a room. But I mean, in a certain degree, it's kind of like now the focus of the room has shifted from this, like, whatever, three-dimensional object into a non-dimensional facet or capacity of myself, which is still, like, I agree with what he's saying, is that there's a rupturing that comes with birthing or creating, originating. Sometimes there's also like the float somewhere, like ideas just kind of just, oh, here you go. Boop. They just kind of like, I guess if ideas are, well, I mean, they are non-dimensional. They essentially just move through space into your time, and then that's why like there's no effort involved in them. All of human unhappiness comes from one single thing: not knowing how to remain at rest in a room. Blaise Pascal. So I'll get his autobiography at some point. But yeah, I signed off on this one. My man Blaise. It's a really cool name. All right. Farewell. Asibia.